You're wrong with being against Kraft and Cadbury.
No. I mean, listen, I respect Irene Rosenfeld. She's a first-class person. She likes the deal. I don't like the deal. I mean, it's that simple. But I don't question her motives, or I don't question their straightforwardness or anything like that at all.
Was this the first time that you publicly have stated that you were against a deal?
Be a long time. Yeah, I can't remember. I've privately been against some.
I think you haven't tasted Cadbury's fruit and nut milk chocolate, because it's really good. It's very good, trust me.
It's the price, Liz.
What intrigues you these days out there? And I know you don't like to tip your hand, but
no, we're not
you're not tipping your hand. But a couple of years ago now, you bought an Israeli company, Iskar, and it turned out to be a money printer. You just bought it outright. At the time, you said the Israelis are the smartest people to do business with, or at least among them. Are you looking in Israel?
I would love to have another one like Iskar, I can tell you that. No, if the people at Iskar came to me, and actually they did about a year ago when we bought a company in Japan, if they say, we think it's a good idea to do X, I'm going to do X.
They're that smart.
They're good. And they're not only smart, I mean, they're hardworking, too. I mean, they just keep going. I mean, they don't have time to stop by Omaha and tell me what's going on. I don't want them to. I'd rather have them out there doing things.
You go visit them.
Absolutely.
You're a believer, obviously, in stocks and, of course, the stock market. What would you tell, I'm just going to throw this out there, say a 25-year-old guy who's making 40 grand right now and has a long time horizon, are you still really pro putting it into individual names and thinking about, looking at stocks?
I would tell him whatever he saves, maybe he saves $2,000 a year, maybe he saves $4,000 a year, and it's tough to save when you're making $40,000 a year, particularly if you have a family. But whatever he saves, I would just tell him to put it regularly, month after month after month, in an index fund.
Let me go back to General Re. You mentioned them. Today, it's announced, or yesterday, that they have settled paying a $92 million fine for the problems with AIG. Looking at that situation, what have you learned from that? There were fake trades made at General Re.
We did something wrong and we paid the price. It's that simple. I mean, it's 5 years since it started, but it shouldn't have been done, and there's nothing inappropriate about the fine we paid, and so I have no problem with it.
They say that parents are very vulnerable through their children. When you buy a company, sometimes you don't know the problems that are going on. You've got a new board member, Stephen Burke of Comcast. Comcast just spent a big chunk of change on NBC, and they opened up a can of worms with the Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien thing.
Well, we didn't buy NBC, but we have 225,000 or so employees. If you have a city of 225,000, probably somebody's doing something wrong. What you try to do is you try to catch it, you try to minimize it, you try to correct it if you find it. But right today, I'm sure somebody at some operation of Berkshire is doing something they shouldn't be doing. I mean, 225,000 people, that's a lot of people. And it's our job to try and minimize it. It's our job, if we find out about it, to do something properly to correct it. We can't eliminate it forever. I mean, I wish we could, but we can't. As
a new board member for Stephen Burke, is he replacing somebody on Berkshire's board?
No, absolutely not. No. I should have asked him a long time ago, but to join us, but he's not replacing anybody.
One of your other board members, Bill Gates, he's blogging now. Did you see he's got a blog out there, Gates Notes? You always say that you're a...
I've taught that guy everything he knows about computers and all that. I'm glad he's finally picked up on it.
And he's Twittering, and what he put on his blog was an interview with he and you and Charlie Rose. Are you going to say, okay, Bill, I'm going to blog too?
Well, you've got it backwards. I mean, I'm glad Bill's mastered it. I'll give up the blogging.